Get my feeds going here. Sunday Swings live show. It's Sunday again. Talking about the week in the internet, my week on social media. If you guys wonder what it's like to have a big social media following, I'm here to tell you stories of grand glory. It's great. If you're watching the show, make sure you retweet the show, spread the show. If you like the show, if you get value from the show, then spread it. This is up to you. This is a show that I do for you. I come on every week. I talk to you. I talk to my following, people that follow me. I'm trying to now go live on Instagram, and it doesn't seem to be letting me. Why is this not letting me go live? Let's see here. I don't know. I'm trying to get my Instagram. I'm trying to get Instagram up. Hold, please. If you think you want to have a big internet following, you don't. It's always an interesting place. Every week, people come into my feed and they come onto my channels and they don't bring value. And then I point out that you're not bringing any value to anyone that is following this, and then they get mad. It's funny. It's funny. I don't know what's going on with the Instagram Live. Let's see if I can go the other side here. Can't. I have a broken iPad, so I can't. I'm not going live on Instagram tonight, I don't suppose. Let's see here. No, I won't do that. Let's see if I can go live. Yeah, got to stop feeding the trolls. I block them mostly. I just like to point out that, you're not helping anything. And so then they get mad, and then they get mad. Oh, man, I was going to read that. Hold on. Hold, please. All right, so here's where I want to start. And you have to comment. You have to write a comment, yes or no. Ready? Here's the question. I want you to think back when you were in elementary school or middle school or high school, and you were sitting in a desk in a classroom trying to learn anything. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant to the conversation. You were just trying to learn anything. And you were being fed all this information. Here's the question. When you look back on that, did you like that? Okay? Do you think fondly of that? Of when you were sitting there in high school and you were being fed all this stuff, and did you enjoy that? Comment now, yes or no. Let's see if you can. Yeah, so we got one no. Oh, we got one yes. Who's lying? Okay. Come on. Here, the question is this. Think back of when you were in elementary school, middle school, high school, and you were trying to learn something. Did you like being just fed over and over and over? Did you like being fed that information? And do you think now, when you think back about that now, is it a fond memory for you? Yes or no? We have 3 comments and 62 people. Just write yes or no. If you think back of the learning process that you went through in school, and you think back and you enjoy that memory, yes or no. We have 3 comments. This is the problem with you go on to baseball. Like I went on my online group, nobody showed up. Nobody talks. Come on, talk, interact, engage. When you think back about that process now, sitting in that desk in that high school classroom or middle school classroom, elementary school classroom, and having to sit there and look at the teacher, and the teacher was regurgitating these facts, do you think back about that and like that? Do you think fondly of that time? Now, there are other memories you enjoy. I got that. All the friendships you made and all these other things. Here's the point. If we as coaches, instructors, whatever, if we are nothing more than ambassadors of the game to help feed a love to young players, or feed a passion for the game for young players, always telling them what to do is not a good strategy. Internal cueing is not a good strategy. It's intrinsic versus extrinsic learning. It's not a good strategy. They will not look back on this time and think fondly of you always telling them what to do. Certainly we want to guide them in directions. We want to guide them in a direction. We want to give them feedback in a direction. But constantly telling a kid what to do and not giving him or her, really. We talked softball last week. This is approved softball too. Not giving them room to figure things out is not a good strategy. You have to give them space. You have to guide them in a direction. Certainly, we give them positive reinforcement. Certainly, we correct them where we need to. But constantly stay close. I mean, there's a list. I mean, all right, there's a list of 40 go-to baseball cues that every coach in America uses, that if we are nothing more than ambassadors to the game, that are here to fuel passion in young players and help young players and guide young players and give them fond memories, then constantly just every bad swing they take, correcting it, giving them a cue, stay close, stay inside the ball. It's not a good strategy. It's not a good strategy. It's not a good motor learning strategy. It's not a proven motor learning strategy. It will never affect positive motor learning in any way. But it's also just not a good strategy for just the pure experience of them being young and getting to play sports. I think about my own time, and this is before information was freely traded. Yeah. And so this is where I want to go with this whole discussion. This is feeding into the week of internet trolling. A lot of the work that I do is not what you would say traditional, okay? So I posted this week on my Instagram video, we had those Perform Better balance pads, okay? 2 purple pads, kid standing on top of it. He had Synaptech glasses on, so the glasses are strobing. He can't see anything. The surface is awful. And we're flipping balls at him, he's trying to hit them. That's all we're trying to do is hit him. The purpose was that we weren't trying to do anything other than what I'm trying to do, and this kind of goes into the other part of the conversation that I want to have tonight, is that there's no black and white answer to hitting. There's no perfect, there's no black and white, there's no set of fundamentals, there's nothing. There's just a framework that you try to work within that will get you to hit the ball hard and in the air, and then we try to go figure that out. Whatever works best for the individual player. But my fascination is always this, and we talked about this week with the guys, because I had to explain to them why they're standing on these purple pads and wearing these glasses. I said, think back to when you were 9 years old, and the kid, when you were 9 or 8 or 7 or whatever, when you were young, and the kid that was generally the best football player, was generally the best basketball player, somehow came out on the baseball field and was able to play baseball. Why was that? I mean, he was 9. It wasn't like he was far skilled advanced. He was just 9. Every 9-year-old is roughly the same. Like, why does one kid come from different sports to baseball and he can play it, and other kids that just focus on baseball can't play it? Like, what gives? Okay? So the difference is this. Some people just genetically have more advanced nervous systems. And if you don't know anything about the nervous system, know this. The nervous system controls all of your environment. It controls your awareness of your body in space, how you walk, how you balance. It's your central nervous system, right? It's always firing. It's always sending signals to your brain to do this, do this, do this, do this, right? Some people are born with good ones, some people aren't. My fascination is this. People that aren't born with genetically good central nervous systems, how do we improve that? Because that's really what it's all about. Is when a ball's flying at you, can you sequence and organize to hit a baseball? It's not knob to the ball. It's not stay close. It's can you be adaptable? Can you adapt, and can you be adaptable in space? So I'm always, weighted back training is just that. It is bettering the central nervous system to produce the outcome. It's not a perfect solution, but the central nervous system, we don't know anything about it. So how do we make it more adaptable? How do we improve it? How do we train it? We make guys stronger, we make girls stronger, we improve their swing patterns, but how do we make them more adaptable in real time? It is really a fascinating thing. So, putting the player up on those balance pads, he now has his central nervous system firing ways that it wasn't firing before. Like, okay, so now his central nervous system is a lot more aware of where his body parts are, or her body parts are, where they weren't before. Like, if it's the thing with a fat gripper and load, your body becomes more hyper aware of what it's doing now, because it's like, oh, that's different. Okay, so now, like, neural pathways can happen, learning can occur. Put the glasses on, he can't see. So we put him up on that platform. He's very unstable. We've got the glasses on, he can't see, we're flipping balls, and we're just trying to get a barrel on the ball. So some clown on Instagram that has a lot of followers, 200,000 followers, takes that, retweets it to his following, and I guess maybe he's trolling me, maybe he's being sarcastic. But if you want to really, I'm going to read you some of the comments of the post, because if you want to really know how dumb the greater baseball, softball community is, it's incredible. I mean, it is what we accept as norm in coaching is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like we think that the same model that you were fed to learn facts in high school is the same way that you learn real-time adaptability, dynamic. Like, you don't learn that way. Like, I can't give you, here's a list of 10 fundamentals. If you do these, you're going to be a good hitter. It doesn't work that way. Now, people think guys like me rolling in the money because I lose more clients than I get, because when they come to me and I don't give them the 10 list and I don't cue every single swing or fix every single mistake they do, they're out in a month. People think that there is a simple solution, that I have it, that I'm trying to sell it to them, and I don't. I don't have it. I'll never have it. I don't have. Everybody's solution is different, and so why would I have this? What the solution is for one won't be the solution for another to produce the outcome of hitting the ball hard and in the air consistently. That's all we're trying to do, is hit the ball hard and in the air consistently. Now, what is that? We're trying to figure it out. Like, we're trying to figure it out. We measure, we assess, we use video. It's all to help the player. Weighted back training is all to help the player do that more consistently. The more we can refine their nervous system, the better they can do that consistently. I don't have to cue it. I don't have to coach it. We just affect movement pattern on a positive level. I want to read you some of these comments. Do you know what exactly this drill is supposed to do, or are you just trying? I know what it's supposed to do. I know if exactly it's working, but in my mind, I know what it's supposed to do. A lot of people said balance, which, again, I'm not even sure balance of what. Like I don't know. Like, somebody said very unnecessary drill. Somebody said swing flies open. A lot of people said looks like he's going to break his ankle, which is really intelligent. Somebody said strength building. I try to go on there. I try to explain to them that we're just trying to get him to adapt his body in space to fire off a swing, catch a barrel right in the center of the ball with the worst possible conceivable environment that you can be in, with a ball flying at you, and get a swing off and hit a ball. That's all we're trying to do. We're not trying to work on anything specifically in the load phase, because people become enamored with the swing, like the swinging of the bat, which is the most uncoached part of the hitting process, is the swinging of the bat. People become enamored with that. It's a good drill if you want to hurt your ankle snaps. Going to hurt somebody's ankle. Good way to sprain an ankle. I want to read you this one. This guy, heads pulling, swinging out of his shoes. Somebody said this was a good drill that you should do at 60%. I said, dude, we don't do anything at 60%. It's either nukes or nothing. Like, we don't swing at 60%. Like, we just hit balls. We try to hit the ball hard all the time, no matter what. Deceleration. If you don't accelerate, decelerate your hip. Like, think of all this, like, internal cueing that's going on in these people's minds. Like, I mean, this thing got like 62,000 views. Somebody liked it, which is good. He keeps falling back after, so of course he is. The environment's terrible. Look at his shoulders. Stay back on the pitch. Golly. Somebody put on here, though, that this was, and I take offense to this, but this was a good way for, this is a terrible drill. Just look at the kid's body. This drill doesn't look like it's creating good habits. What is a good habit? Like, what is a good habit? Like, what does that mean? Like, somebody on Twitter today, like, what does all that mean? Like, what are the guidelines? Like, what do you think they are? You know, is it knob to the ball? Like, what do you think the good habits are? Like, I don't understand these. I mean, I know what they're trying to say, but like, do you really understand what you're saying? Somebody put on here, looks like a good way to take people's money. Look, I'm not about. There are people that are doing garbage jobs in this industry that take people's money, and I'm not one of them. Okay? I take great offense to that. The people that are not doing great jobs, when you talk to them, they know that. Okay? You know what they say? I know, Chad, but you know what? They pay me, so I do it. Like, that's the way people feel about you. Like, that's the way people feel about you. Like, I know I'm not helping you. I know I can't affect your swing, but I take your money. And people pay that. Like, people just fork it out. Here you go. Like, come on. Do better than that. Okay? I'm not that guy. I talk on the internet on Sunday night for an hour to answer your questions, to talk about what we've been talking about in the facility, to talk about what we've been posting about on the internet. I'm not that guy. If I was, I would have 4 or 5 swing cues. I'd charge people $100 an hour. I'd bring them in. I would know that I wasn't affecting any positive change. The guys that are doing lessons, here's the secret. They know they're not helping you. They know that. But you know what? You're paying them. So they're not going to tell you that. Because if you leave, out goes your money out of their pocket. And so they're not going to tell you that. But they tell me that. They say, look, I know, Chad. I know. But they pay me. So I'll tell them what they want to hear. Like... And people wonder why. And people wonder why we can't progress forward as an industry, because that's the accepted norm. Like, that's the accepted norm. Like, that's what people accept is go see pitching guru. You know, he's going to clean up your mechanics. What does that mean? He's going to clean up your mechanics. He's going to give you 4 ideas about pitching that you're not going to be able to duplicate and take into the competition. So, in the constraint of 40 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, we're gonna wow you with our language and our vocabulary. We're never gonna take. No, I'm not apologizing. I'm just saying I take great offense to people that just say, that lump me in with, and Rachel, you know what I'm talking about because you do this too, is people that lump me in with people that are just taking money because they exist. Okay? They're people that are just taking your money. And you have to ask yourself, what is my child learning from this? Like, what is my child gaining from this experience on a cellular level to make him or her a better hitter or pitcher? Like, what are they gaining from this? Like, we've gotten to a place where just paying for lessons is like, here you go. It's got to work. That's what everybody else does. That's how everybody else gets better. Here you go. The number one question I ask of people, when I mean to people or people ask me on the internet, how can I get my exit velocity up? What's your deadlift? Oh, like 230. Deadlift like 450. And then we'll measure your exit velocity. I bet it's better. That's one thing that in the online crowd, when we were talking about one guy, no one in particular, it's just he was asking my advice about when to start weighted bat training and all this other stuff, and I told him, well, if you're not going to swing, you just need to deadlift, like just lift, like deadlift, squat, bench. What's not cool about all this is like it's not a sexy, glamorous, here, 3x your velocity, like below 10 miles an hour and 4. No, just do the boring everyday work that no one else is willing to do, and that everybody else is spending all their time finding this secret that they'll never find, and you just do the work. And you just keep dripping and doing the work. Because before it's too late, they won't know, and you'll be past them. And intent and adaptability of the swing. Yeah, like, so I'll talk about intent and adaptability of the swing, sure. Everything we do is done with high intent. We swing weighted bats. We swing overloaded weighted bats, plus 16s, plus 20s. We swing the 20%. We do the in-load, knob-load, undulation. Everything we do is trying to figure out how we can fire off a swing at the highest intent possible in any environment possible. Batter's box is no good, fine. Pitcher background is terrible, fine. Pitchers throwing, umpires are making bad calls, fine. Go in there and be a dude or a dudette, okay? A dudette. I don't know what girls call each other, but go in there and be a dude. Like rip up the dugout post, take it in that batter's box, and go compete with that thing. And I know a lot gets made of competing, and I know I make fun of people that just lead with competing. We are really trying to develop measurable skill to give the guys the tools to compete at a higher level. But competing is super, super important, because what we want is, we don't want to create guys or girls that go into a batter's box that are worried about what their left foot is doing. I mean, that's what lessons are. Like internal people, and I talked about this week in my own business, or in my own building, in my own training, people that are overly internal about their left foot or whatever, they don't want no part of hit tracks. They don't want any part of it, because they believe that if they just fix their left arm, they're going to be good. I mean, listen to that. Listen to me say that out loud. If they think that if they fix their left foot, they're going to be good. Chaz, we're going to get on that, I promise. If they fix their left foot, they're good. But then they go and you know what happens? They work on that left foot. That left foot's going to be good. And then they go on hit tracks and their exit velocity is 74. And the ball goes 210 feet. And they're like, oh man, I'm not any good. Like, my left foot didn't fix anything. And so it just ruins and wrecks their worldview. So what do? They just stay away from it. They don't want any part of it. They don't want any part of that. They don't want any part. They want to spend. They would just rather, okay, here's what's going to happen. They're going to work on their left foot. Yes, coaches that are scared of hit tracks aren't good. That is 100% true. Players that aren't good are scared of hit tracks too. They're all scared of the numbers. You guys that are watching this that don't like the numbers, you are scared of it. That's all it boils down to, is you are scared of it. Don't be scared of it. Run at it. Try to figure it out. Chaz and I going back and forth about figure it out today. Okay, we'll talk about that. Is figure it out. Figure it out is when Chaz and I talked about figuring it out. And figuring it out for me is nothing more than guided learning. I'm going to guide a player in a direction. The rest of the way is for him to figure out. Like, I can't take you the whole way. Okay? But in the end, I'm going to be measuring and monitoring in the direction you're going in. Meaning, we're going to be tracking your exit velocity. We're going to be tracking your bat speed. We're going to be tracking your barrel acceleration. We're going to be tracking your swing plane. But you've got to go wade the water and figure it out. Like, I can point you in a direction. I can push you in a direction. But the rest of the way is for you. Like, I'm not going to take you any further. And the guys we have right now, our culture right now, we've certainly had guys who don't fit that. But the guys we have right now are awesome with that. Like, they take it, they run with it, they compete with each other. It's awesome. We've got the record board. It's great. Players that want to be told what to do, they want no part of that. They don't want to try to figure it out. They want you to tell them everything. Yeah, it's guided learning. Okay, guided learning is figure it out is a sexy way to say it on the internet. Now, there are a lot of guys spew and figure it out on the internet that have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, but you've got to understand. If you hear figure it out, it's nothing more than guided learning. I'm going to guide you in a direction. We're going to I call them parameters. In the online Velo Lab online program, we give you the basic parameters. Here is the framework to which you build your house. At which point you don't need me every day. You need numbers to measure what's happening, but you don't need me to guide that process every day. Like, you don't need somebody to guide your process every day. The rest of it is figure it out. That's it. And if you have questions along the way, I'm here to answer them. But you don't need me. Like, you don't need a guru every day. You just need to know, what are the 3 or 4 things I really, really need to do, and then what direction do I need to go to pursue them? Here's the weighted bats. Here are the drills. Here's the work. Go do it. Within that, you have to go try to figure out how to get here's the answer, okay? We got the answer to the test. Hit the ball hard, hit the ball in the air. Train to get the ball harder, train to hit the ball in the air more consistently. Figure that out. For you, because everybody's nuance is different. Everybody has different swing nuance. What works for one? I've got a kid right now, and somebody at Twitter came on to me about this today. I got a kid in college right now who, if you looked at his video, and I'm really not that sure about it either. He's got this really big arm bar, but I'm not so sure it's a bad thing. You know, I've told him, like, I think, man, if you can get to fastballs with this, you'll be fine. His swing is, he's number like two or three in exit velo in the Southeast, and number 4 in distance. Off of real speeds. Like, I think he's going to be okay. You know, if he's not in a game, then we'll go back and revisit it and see if that is what I think could be causing him not to be able to get to fastballs. But he hits everything. He hits 98 backside. Like, I don't look at it in a black and white way. You know, what people, like, I look at players like Nolan Arenado or Giancarlo Stanton, guys that have finicky moves. My BP speed, Chaz, is like 45, 50 from like 35 feet, 30, 35 feet. Sometimes we do velo work. Some of our hit games are played at 65, 70, but we don't hit. If we're gonna, like, I don't like to turn the machine on like 90. If we're gonna do that, we're gonna move it up to 45 feet and turn it on 70. But it was going to make the point, like, if you look at guys like Arenado, you look at guys like Giancarlo, and we were talking about Todd Frazier, and there's no perfect. Like, there's not perfect. Like, why would you want to fix Giancarlo's swing? Dude, he just hit 59 homers closed off to the plate. It clearly works for him. Nolan Arenado's swing is like, it's like janky, but it totally works. Like, it accelerates the barrel. He arrives on plane, hits the ball hard in the air really, really often. What's wrong with his swing? What's wrong with it? If it does that, what's wrong with it? Nothing. Nothing is wrong with it. You know, if we don't have enough information, I would love to have a ground force plate to measure how players transition through the ground. I think that's got more to do with the quality of the swing. What makes the elite hitters elite is how they transition through the ground, how they produce speed in their kinetic chain. All that stuff's really, really interesting. But we look at swings and we think, oh, that's no good. You know, I talk to people. People send me texts all the time. I answer every single Twitter message I get about hitting. Every one. Every video, everything. For free. No charge. Send me anything, I'll answer it. Sometimes I miss them, but for the most part, I answer them. I make phone calls to the people in the Velo Lab Online program when they send me emails and I can't explain to them exactly the way I need to explain to them. I call them. Okay? How do I feel about the step back? How do you think I feel about the step back move? If it works for you, do it. If it works for you, do it. If you can mash in a step back move, step back. Don't let anybody change that. If you got a 40G acceleration number and you arrive 10 to 20 degrees all the time and you mash on any speed of the ball and you step back, step back. I mean, there are anomalies. I know it doesn't work, but if a kid mashes, why are we changing him? Like Dad asked me. Yeah, force plate. I went to Isleworth and did some force plate work at Isleworth Country Club on the Swing Catalyst. It was awesome. But isn't baseball a great game? Yeah, baseball. No, I mean, here's what I don't like. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've said this before. I don't really like much about baseball. I don't particularly like a lot of coaches. I don't like the showcase circuit. I don't like youth travel baseball. I like players because I feel like players get the raw end of the deal. They have to listen to people that are not qualified to tell them what they're telling them. Two, the people that are telling them what they're telling them don't know what they're talking about. And so I feel like that I owe them my best effort to try to give you the best information that I can give you, because this is 2017. Like, you don't have to go to practice and just listen to regurgitate. Listen to guys regurgitate just stupid stuff. Like, I listen to it. I'm getting to the point where I'm just getting frustrated every day because I listen to stuff and I'm just like, people are paying for this. But then what it gets turned around to is, like, I get accused of being a bad guy because my guys are enjoying their work. Like, we're laughing. like we're having a good time. They're trying to hit nukes. They're chirping at each other. They're competing at each other. But then I end up being a bad guy because, like, I don't have discipline. Like, I don't have... My guys mash. Like, they mash. Like, they dominate. You're just mad because your kid's not going to dominate. Like, your kid's 65 miles an hour is not going to dominate. It's not going to dominate. Like, that's fine. You know, they're going to cover it up. Well, Chad, you know, life's bigger than baseball. And I know that. But I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to write a book. I'm trying to get the framework of a book, and just the more and more research I do about learning habits that I want to include in the book, central nervous system development that I want to include in the book, very small, you know, knowledge pieces about what this body part or that body parts are doing. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And I hope that you all share. If you like what I do, I hope that you share the stuff that I put time into. Because people are more... I blog too. You know, people are just programmed the way they're programmed. If you have a book in the industry, you're considered to be, you know, a guru. He wrote a book. And Chaz, you know this. Like, if you don't coach a team or you don't associate with this or that, then, you know, people are like, oh, he's just another guy. He's just another guy with the hit tracks. And so, just as a piece of just another piece of, like, I got a book. Does that matter to you? You know, I've got 75,000 internet followers. Does that matter to you? I consult with these colleges. Does that matter to you? I work with these pro guys. Does that matter to you? Yeah, you know, you do you, man. Your blog, you got a lot of information on there. And so, yeah. Blogging's funny because I go back and I read some of my old stuff and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. But that's the evolution of coaching. That's the evolution of coaching. If you're not going to troll who you were 3 or 4 years ago, then you're not progressing the way you need to progress. Yeah, people love, they think they have answers. Because baseball, there's no standard. Like softball, there's no standard. There's no standard. Like who's good, who's not. Like there's no standard. Like Chipper Jones can say, hey, yeah, I swing down. And people are like, oh, my God, Chipper swings down. Look, Chad says swing up. Chipper's got to be right. He's in the Hall of Fame. Like, watch Chipper video. Chipper and I actually argued about this on Twitter video one day. Watch Chipper video. He doesn't swing down. Yeah, I would, like, yeah, it's funny. Like, I read some old stuff. Like, I'm just like, oh, my God. But I'm not perfect, okay? I'm not perfect. The work we are doing now gets results. This is the best place I've ever been because we are not tracking. I've never tracked results in the way that I'm tracking them now. And so the work that I'm doing now gets results. Not to say that it's not going to be refined or we're not going to find better ways or we're not going to grow the community and we're not going to have better, you know, feedback. And Chad's talking about ground force, and we're going to do ground force hopefully. We're going to do spin rate stuff like the work with Clemson and getting Clemson's TrackMan, in-game TrackMan data, and I can see their TrackMan stuff. Like, it's really, really cool time to be an open-minded guy just trying to figure stuff out because the information and the data is it's all there. You know, it's all there. If you want to go back and you want to look at 2017, go look at Fangraphs. You know, go look at Fangraphs. It's amazing. It's amazing the answers we have now. And it's not a complicated process. Like, you don't have to have a PhD. I know I talk about the central nervous system, and that's one of the fears that I have in the book is becoming overly technical, where people become intimidated and they think they can't do it, and so they just resign to it and say, well, I'm just going to resign back to the simple method that I've always known. It's actually more simple to do it this way than it is the other way, because the other way, you don't know if it works. You know, somebody asked me that. Somebody asked, what did you do before technology? I guess just like everybody else did. That's all people that don't have feedback are doing. Do I think squatting or deadlifting is more efficient? Deadlifting is the best exercise on the planet. There's so much good. Front squatting is really, really good. Here's an insight conversation from this week. Got an Instagram DM from somebody that watches the show talking about deadlifting. Said he had a back injury, and he said he couldn't deadlift, but he could squat. So I said, look, front squat. Follow a front squat progression. That's going to get your front squat better. Superset your front squats with really heavy farmer's carries. Okay, so just superset farmer's carries with your front squat, because there's more going on in a deadlift than just the leg part of it. It's grip strength, it's core, it's low back, it's back, it's the best exercise on the planet. If you're not a 2.5 times deadlifter watching this show today, you need to get on a progression right now that's going to make you a 2.5 times deadlifter. Period. Girl, boy, period. If you can't deadlift 2.5 times your body weight right now, you need to get on a program. If you're going to the weight room every day, there's nothing wrong with having a roadmap to go in there to make your deadlift. I got one. Mine works. Like everybody we've got like 300 or 400 or 500 pound deadlifters now, who now we're just going to work on their speed. Okay, once you get to a certain point, it's better to work on speed. We're just going to work on their speed and moving the bar fast, because they need that more than they need to add another 100 pounds in their deadlift. But for the guys who can't deadlift 2.5 times their body weight, deadlifting is, if you do nothing else, if you don't ever want to swing a weighted bat, if you never want to put a sensor, yeah, you're going to be in trouble, but you're not trying to hit nukes anymore either. If you never put a sensor on your bat, if you never pick up a weighted bat, if you never swing at a heavy ball, if you never put on a pair of snap tech glasses, if you never hit on a hit tracks, if you never do any of that stuff, deadlift. Just deadlift. Deadlift until you get to 2.5 times your body weight. If you don't know it, your exit velocity will go up. That's the truth. Are there any other questions? This is always fun. So Chaz Pippett from Baseball Rebellion is the one that's complimenting. Yeah, I'm making a comeback. Chaz, what I'm going to do, so this Sunday night show I'm going to keep to a Q&A. I'm going to do, somebody was commenting about a podcast. I'm going to do an interview style thing that we're going to podcast and maybe YouTube. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but sometimes it's hard, and Chaz, you and I have gone back and forth with this to get guys scheduled on Sunday night at 9 o'clock. So we're going to do that at different times and just release it during the week. If people listen to it, they listen to it. If they don't, they don't. I just want people in the industry that I follow on Twitter, I want their voices to be heard more, because there's too many stupid people that have too big a voice that need to be squashed. And so there are people that I really, really like and respect that their voices need to be heard. Favorite Major League? I don't have. I just like watching Major League hitters. I mean, I don't know. They're all good. I like just all their nuances. Like they're all interesting to see. They're all interesting to see. Who are what? Who are my favorites? I don't know. Who are your guys on Twitter you like? How many do you want? 5? Let's keep it to 5. I like Kyle Bodie. I like Ryan Parker. I like Jason Ochart. I like Eugene Bleeker. I like, this is excluding you, Chaz, because you asked the question. I like, I'm trying to think of a 5th one. Casey Fisk is really good. I don't know. I got a list, okay? You can make lists on Twitter. I got a list. It's called Quality. It's got about 28 guys in it. Go look at it, I think. And there may be some excluded. I maybe missed some along the way. If you want to know who to follow, go look at those. Depends on who you ask. It depends on who you ask if I'm good or not. Some guy got offended about my tone. He commented on my on one of my tweets, and I just pointed out, like, yeah, man, but, like, what value did that add to the tweet? Oh, it didn't. I just wanted to show you that. Of course, I always get tones. Dude, leave me alone. Blocked somebody today because they best way to get that 40G acceleration. Ha, Matt. Getting stronger certainly matters. Creating disconnect by pinning your back arm so that you can disconnect your upper and lower, and then creating internal load, keeping your spacing so you can really turn hard. Like, you need to be able to really turn hard, but you got to be able to disconnect. You got to be able to pin and disconnect. So if you can pin and disconnect and then turn really, really hard, you'll get to that 40G. Matt, if I don't remember correctly, your son was like 35 or 36, which is really, really good. What do you like specifically about the guys you just named? I love guys that show their work too. That show, because I believe this, and Chaz, I believe this, and you're this guy. If you're going to charge people for baseball services, it needs to be better than what they're going to get anywhere else. You can get blind coaching cues from every single high school coach in America. It's no better. But so if you're going to show your work, you got to show all your work. You're not going to Brett Porcio this thing and show 10 guys that achieved amazing results doing your program, where another 100 were maybe. What's the average, man? Somebody went after Porcio. I think I went after. Like, just give us the average. Punch 25 numbers in a calculator. Divide that by 25 and give us the average. Like, you can't give us the average? Like, nah, Porcio, he's a clown. Like, he's got to know he's a clown. But, like, give us the average. Like, I released our in-house averages this year. It's like, they were really, really good this fall. Released the summer ones, they weren't that good. Like, just give us the numbers, man. Just give us the numbers. If it makes your business look worse, I'm sorry, and that's why a lot of people won't release all their numbers, is because it won't make their business or their narrative or whatever look that good. I know this firsthand. I've tried to get friends of mine to use a sensor, a bat sensor, to help them with their clients. They'll use it for a week, throw it out, because what that sensor says does not fit what they believe produces elite swinging, whatever they're trying to do. I'm not sure what some people are trying to do. So they just throw the sensor out. They disregard the sensor. And they go back to, whatever they're going to do. No, man, like -6 swing plane is negative swing. It's -6 swing plane. The sensor's not wrong. Okay? It's not wrong. Yeah, baseball people are the worst. Honestly, I don't even want to get into that. I didn't even want to get into that. Just, if you're a coach and you're watching this, do better. Okay? That's my whole theory in life, is just do better. Whatever it is you do, if you're not a coach and you're watching this, just do better. Like my sister's assistant athletic director at Florida. She's 31, she'll be 32 years old this year. She got to where she got in the industry she got because she just always tries to do better. Like, she's just always improving on things. And she's at the top of her industry in her job at 32 years old as a woman. It's impressive. Like, she didn't complain. She just did the work. And she makes things better. She's constantly improving. She doesn't coach baseball. She's in marketing at Florida. Like, do the work and always try to improve to be better. Now, we have the responsibility because we are bringing a whole bus full of people behind us that are going to be coaches next. Like, the kids you're coaching today are going to be coaches. So, how do you affect and that's why I like the internet. I had a long conversation with a former player last night. He's like, "Why do you do what you do, man? Like, why don't you coach in college?" And I'm like, look, man. My whole thing, the entire time I've been coaching, All I ever wanted to do was just help players be better. That's it. I don't need wins or ego, or I don't need all that. All I want is for guys to get better. I want for girls to be able to get whatever it is they want out of this experience. You want to be a big leaguer? I want to help you. You want to be a good high school player? I want to help you. You want to be a good college player? I want to help you. So if I take a college job, or if I go to a high school and take a high school job, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The only guys I'm going to help are the guys in that locker room. And I want to help more people than that. And so I just do what I do. I try to help people, try to help as many people as possible. You know, somebody talked me out of giving my training programs away. Somebody talked me out of giving it away. I was just going to put it online and give it away. He said, man, you can't give it away. You've worked too hard. You bought a hit tracks. You got all this equipment. You've got to pay for that. Just charge $100 for it. I'm like, all right, $100. It seems reasonable. And so it's $100. It's the work that I put in every day, the program adjustments that we do every day, the weight training, the weighted bats, the weighted balls, the velocity development, the arm care, all of that. College coaches that have it rough. Beg guys to come to your school recruiting them by telling, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to beg guys. I've said this before. If I'm a college coach, again, if I'm a college coach, one thing I'm invested in is trying to help you play baseball as long as you can. Let's do that. Then I know some of them are limited in budget because I work with some of them. Like, how do you build methods of feedback on a budget? And so I try to help them build that on the budget. You know, offer to come to them and do their exit velocity measurements periodically. You know, and so that's what I got. That's what I got. I hope that you like this show. It reposts on YouTube next Sunday. Last Sunday's show is on YouTube now. You can get my YouTube channel. Just dig back through my Twitter feed. It's been the last 10 tweets. That's it. That's all I got. This show is always fun. I'm going to keep the Sunday. Why only constraints on the tee? I will answer this question. The only reason we do constraints on the tee is because any other time we want the ball moving, because we're constantly trying to build adaptability. And so if we're going to swing weighted bats off the tee, we're losing the adaptability piece of it. So we do the only reason we use the tee for because you can't fully swing plus 20, plus 16, plus 18, plus 20, plus 22, 24 bats at a moving ball. There's just not enough similarity to what's actually going to happen. And so we're just trying to do the movement pattern, remapping, central nervous system development. We're working on scat pinning, back leg acceleration off the tee. That's it. We need the tee. We need the tee to be able to focus on those points, because once we get off of the tee, all we're trying to do is be on time and mash. Once the ball starts moving, I don't want any thought about this, that, or the other. Just be on time and mash. The time that you spent on the tee with the overload bats will fix your mechanical deficiency. I promise you that. So that when you go and the ball starts moving at you, whatever implement you have, you will adapt and you will mash. Period. Thank you for watching. Go follow me on Snapchat, CLongBaseball. Go follow me on Instagram, CLongBaseball. Go share the stuff on Facebook. If you like this show, buy some t-shirts from my shop. Okay? It helps fund the technology. It helps fund all the research that we're going to do. If you haven't shopped in the t-shirt store, go buy the t-shirts. If you buy $100 worth of t-shirts, I'll give you free access to the training programs. If you don't want any of that, just go buy. Okay? You got to keep this. It's up to you all to help me with the research, because I live in the middle of nowhere. I run a 200 client business. I released our facility updates. It's like 20 guys. It's like 20 guys and girls. One girl and like 20 guys. That's all I train. That's all I train consistently. We get a lot of people who are in and out. 20 people. I don't own a 200-person facility business. We're trying to grow the online community. We're trying to partner with other facilities to do the same training programs that we do in-house so we can have a bigger pool of data. We're going to be having facility partners all over the country. We're working on that deal. And so I appreciate you watching. Help follow, share. The shirts are awesome. They're soft. They're comfortable. I don't like polyester. I like cotton stuff that's more comfortable. So that's what the shirts are. Sunday Swings Live Show, Chad Longworth. Thank you for watching.